So in the series of learning C programming, we are discussing recursion in C. In the previous video, we have discussed direct and indirect recursion. So now in this video, we will discuss two more type of recursion, tail and non-tail recursion. These are very important, tail and non-tail recursion, right? We will see both the recursion with proper program, and I will show you how you will get the output. When there is tail recursion in the program, when there is non-tail recursion in your program, then how you are going to execute those programs, the flow of execution of those programs, and we will see everything about these two recursion, right? But before that, I just want to tell you one thing. If you are preparing for GATE exam or will be preparing for GATE examination, then Unacademy is going to conducting a scholarship test for GATE and ESC aspirants. This test will be on 7th of November. And here you will compete with the thousands of learners and you stand a chance to win up to 100% scholarship. So here format of test is what? 20 questions you will get and time limit would be 60 minutes. So here you can assess your GATE preparation in just 60 minutes, and these questions would be very challenging and original GATE questions that has been curated by the best GATE and ESC educators at Unacademy. And you can also see how you rank against others from all over India with a live leaderboard that shows real-time ranking after every question. So better to take it live to compete with the best, and if you take it live, you also get a chance to win some exciting prizes if you get a good rank. The detail of these rewards and these prizes you can see on my screen. And one more thing, after every contest you will get detailed video solution that would be provided by their experts, so you can identify your weak areas and you can improve yourself so that you get it right next time. And you can take this test for free. You don't need to pay anything. You just have to enroll. The enrollment link I'll put in the description box of this video. You can go, you just click to that link, scroll down, pick up the right test for you and just click enroll and use my code JKL10 to unlock this test. All the relevant links and the details I will put in the description box of this video. You can go and check out. So now let's get back to the topic. So first we will see tail recursion. See, as the name suggests, tail is what? You know the general meaning of tail, in English, in Hindi. It's like pooch, or you can say the end part of any aircraft or that thing, right? Or you can say the end part of the body of any animal or the bird, right? So end part means the last thing, right? I hope you can resemble this thing, the last thing, that is tail, right? And tail recursion means what? Recursion would be the last thing in that function. That's it. That is tail recursion. Means there would be no task after the recursive call. The recursive call, the recursion would be the last thing to do in that function. That is tail recursion. That's it. So try to understand the logic, the meaning of those words and try to relate those things rather than just see what is tail recursion. Just find out what is there written in the book or in the any website or what is the bookish definition of that word. First of all, understand that word, try to relate that word with the definition and then make your own definition in your own word. That is also fine. If you understand the meaning of tail recursion, you can easily write down the definition of tail recursion without just memorizing the bookish definition. In your own word, you can write down the definition. Yeah, the meaning should be same. Your definition and the bookish definition, the meaning should be same. It should convey the same message, right? But that would be correct. Now, I hope you understand what is tail recursion. Means the last thing to do in the function, or you can say there would be no task left after the execution of the recursive call. That's it. That is tail recursion, right? So now I guess you can write down the definition in your own words, right? So first understand the meaning, understand the logic, understand that thing rather than just memorizing their definition and everything, right? So now let's take simple example of tail recursion. I am writing here a function. So this is a simple program. Here I am having one function print, and this is what print is calling print itself. So this is what recursion, but tail or non-tail, that we'll see. It is direct or indirect. it's direct because this is calling directly itself, right? So it is direct recursion. So tail or non-tail, we will see. Maybe after looking this, you will see this in this function print a by 2, this function call, this recursive call is the last thing I have written. This is the last statement. After that, we have closed this function. So maybe after, by looking at this, you can directly say it is tail recursion because it is the last thing in this function, right? Yeah, that's true. It is last thing and it is tail recursion. But sometimes in some programs, it looks like that the recursive call is the last statement written. After that, you will find the closing braces, but still that was non-tail recursion. That would be non-tail, right? That example also we'll see in this video. So I just want to say, after just looking at this thing, how you can say that this is tail or non-tail, we will see this thing also. Directly you cannot say after looking that this is the last statement, it is tail. This is not last, it is not non-tail. It is not the correct logic to find out tail or non-tail recursion, right? By the end of this video, you will get all the points, how to find out this is tail or non-tail. So now, yeah, obviously in this case, it is tail recursion. So here we have the recursive call, how this would be executed. First of all, control will go to the main function. We are calling the function print, right? So in the stack, what would be the case? First we have what? We will have that activation record for main, right? And in main, what we are calling print 10. So when you will call, the control will go here and one more activation record would be for this print, and here what you are passing, print 10 value, right? So this is activation record for this function call. Is this condition true? No. Else there are two statements would be executed, right, in this function call. So it will print first of all a value. What would be printed? It would print 10. A value is 10 here. And then again it will call print, but it will pass a by 2. 10 by 2, that is 5. So one more activation record for print 5, because now a value is 5. We are passing a by 2. Now again we are calling, now a value is 5, so it will print again what? 5, right? And we are calling a by 2, that is at this time what it will pass? Print 5 by 2, that is 2. In integer form it will pass, not 2 by 2.5, because we are taking int. Now 2, now a value is 2, is this condition true? No, it will print a value, that is 2 would be printed, and now again we are going to call. So one more activation record for what? At this time what would be passed? 2 by 2, that is 1, right? So now this time a value is 1, condition true? No. Printf, first of all 1 would be printed. Now what you are going to pass? 1 by 2, that is 0. So now we are going to pass print 0. Now this time a value is 0. Now at this time what would be executed in this function call? This condition true, a less than 1? Yes. So simply return. Only one statement, that is return. We are not going to enter into the else part. And return means where we are going to return? Exactly from where you are calling this. Print 0, where you are calling this one? From here only, from this part. In the same flow you are going to be, move backward. So simply return here. Is there any other statement to execute after this recursive call? Is there any statement left? Because here we have two statements. First of all printf a, and then simply print, and a by 2 will pass 1. So simply we are going to return here. Is there any other statement left after this recursive call? Any other task is there to be executed? No. So what? Simply return back from where you have called this function. Simply return here, then return here, and simply return to the main, and that's it. And once you will return back, this memory would be freed. Once you return back, this memory would be freed, this memory would be freed, and at last this would be freed. And what will be printed? 10, 5, 2, 1. So after the recursive call there is nothing left, no task is left to be executed. So this is what? Tail recursion, right? By looking at this also you can say it is tail recursion, but how it is going to be executed, that is very important. But because in some example you cannot say, just by looking you cannot say it is tail recursion or non-tail recursion. You have to find out the flow of execution, right? So there is nothing left to be executed after this recursive call, so it is tail recursion. So now see, generally we maintain stack if after returning there is something to be executed, just to keep the record of that thing. We generally maintain stack to keep the record of that thing, like after returning we have something to be executed, so we have to maintain that thing. But here we don't have anything, so why we are maintaining this stack? This is what? Simply wastage of memory in this case. So that is why I generally say that this tail recursive programs are very much like loops. So better to write down this program using loop, because see, time complexity would be same, but space complexity in this case is order of n, but when you write down this program in loop, space complexity would be order of 1. So it is consuming more space. So why to maintain this stack? So some compilers automatically optimize the code when they see that this recursive call is like tail recursion. Here we have tail recursion, they optimize the code. No need to keep track of these records, no need to maintain the stack, no need to store the addresses of each function call, right? Because there is nothing left after returning back, we are simply returning back. So no need to maintain this thing, it's just wastage of memory. So they optimize the code itself, but some compiler don't optimize the code, right? So better to write down these programs using loops, this tail recursive programs. We can compare loops and tail recursive programs in a separate video with detailed explanation, but I guess for this video that's enough. I hope you got the difference, why the tail recursion is not very good to write programs, right? Because of memory space it takes. So this is tail recursion, and this function print is what? Tail recursive function, right? Because here the recursive call is the last thing to do in this function, right? But if I modify this something like this, after this print I am again adding a statement A, and after that I am closing this. Now this is not the last statement in this function. In this statement, after the recursive call we have something to do, right? So this is what non-tail recursion, right? How we are going to execute this thing? Same process would be there, but at this time this is what main, we are calling this print 10 from here. This would be what you cannot write here, or you can write this also, but maybe you will get confused, print 10 here also, print 10 here also, but this is the activation record for print 10, right? From here we are just calling, right? So here we have three things to do. First of all, we are going to printf A, so 10 would be printed. Now we are going to call again print A by 2, that is 5 would be passed, and we still left one task, that is we are going to print A after returning back. So once function call, we will simply go here. Here also three statement. First of all print 5, then we are going to call, and one statement still left, printf what? 5 by 2 would be passed, and printf A would be again executed. Same process would be executed. After reaching to 0, we are going to return. So after returning here, it's not like that we simply return here. Here we are returning, and after this return we still have one more statement. We are going to print A again, and in this activation record for this function call, A value is 1. So again 1 would be printed. After executing this task, now we are going to return back, and here again A value would be printed after this calling. So A value is 2. Now back, here A value would be 5. Now back, here A value would be 10. Now in the main function. So this would be, you can say, the output of this program. So this is what non-tail recursion. It is just opposite of tail recursion. After the recursive call, you still have something to do. You still have some task to be executed after the recursive call. That is non-tail recursion. That's it, right? So I guess these are very simple I have taken. By looking at this function also, you can see this is not the last statement in this function, so this is non-tail. But now I am going to take one more example. Let's see. So now see, by looking at this function, can you tell me whether this is tail or non-tail? See, this is the function. Here we are calling print, so this is recursive function. And this print A by 2, obviously this is function call, and this is the last statement written in this function, and after that we are just closing this. So maybe by looking at this you will say it is tail recursion, but no, it is not tail, it is non-tail recursion. Because after the function call we still have something to execute. What is that? We are going to add 1 in that thing. Whatever it will return, after that we are going to add 1 and after that we are going to return. So that adding of 1 is the last thing we are going to do in this function, not the recursive call. So it is non-tail recursion. So you have to identify this thing also, right? When you practice some program, something like this, these kind of programs, you will automatically get, by looking at that program also you can say this is tail or non-tail, but you have to practice first of all for that thing. So what would be the flow of execution of this code? From the main function, here we have obviously one activation record for main in the stack would be there, right? Here we have x, whatever this will return, we are going to store that in x and then we are going to print x. So we are calling now print 10. So one activation record for which print 10. So a value is 10, we have here a we have 10, a is variable. Condition true? No. So what is going to be executed? Return 1 plus this thing. So here we have 1 plus print a by 2 means we are going to pass 5. So now function call for print 5 I am going to write here, right? Now a value is 5, so in this case a value is 5. So what would be the statement? Condition true? No. So what we are going to be done? What we will do? Return 1 plus this thing. So 1 plus, again function call print 5 by 2, that is 2 would be passed. So function call for print 2. Here we have a, now a value is 2, 1 plus, again function call for print 2 by 2, that is 1. So now function one activation record for what? Print 1 and a value is here 1. Condition true? No. 1 plus, again function call print 1 by 2, that is 0. So this record is for print 0. Now here a value is 0. Now condition true? Yes. So what would be executed? Simply return. Return means the control would return where? From where you are calling that. From where you are calling this function? Here. So simply here we have nothing. So 1 plus this. So whatever the value we are going to add 1 there. So we have nothing. So it is what? 1 plus, you can say 0, or you can say here return 0. Right. So it will return 0 and 1 plus 0 is 1. So now that 1 value would be returned where? Return 1 plus 0, that is 1. Now return this would be returned where? Here. Print 1, because from here we are calling. So 1 would be returned here 1. So after returning we still have something to execute, that is we have to do 1 plus operation. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So now 2 would be returned here. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 would be returned here. 3 plus 1 is 4. Now 4 would be finally returned here in the main, and in x we have 4, and now 4 would be printed. So this is an example of non-tail recursion. I hope now you got the difference between tail and non-tail recursion. How to find out that this is tail recursion or this is non-tail recursion, right? So now here we are fully utilizing the stack. We are maintaining the stack. Obviously we have to maintain, because after returning also we have to do something. So here we are fully utilizing the stack, but in tail recursion it's just wastage of space if you maintain the stack, right? But in non-tail we are utilizing the space, right? So that's it for this video now. So from the next video I am going to start structures in C. So now I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.